The giant alien ship appeared suddenly at the edge of Earth's solar system. Its sleek, silvery hull stretched over 5 miles long, dwarfing the largest human spacecraft ever built. Behind it came 6 smaller vessels, each representing a different species from the Galactic Council. Admiral Frank Carter watched from the bridge of the UES Defender as the alien delegation approached. His weathered face betrayed no emotion, but his knuckles turned white as he gripped the command rail. "They say they come in peace," said Frank to his second-in-command, "but I've never known anyone to bring a fleet for a friendly chat." The Council ships transmitted messages of friendship and cooperation. They offered humanity membership in their ancient alliance of species. They promised to share technology that would solve Earth's energy crisis and environmental problems. Their leader, a tall blue-skinned alien called High Counselor Zex Terra, spoke of a bright future together among the stars. Most humans celebrated. After centuries of wondering if they were alone in the universe, the answer had arrived with promises of prosperity. The United Earth government welcomed the aliens with open arms. Only Admiral Carter remained skeptical. "We know nothing about them," he argued during an emergency meeting with Earth's leaders. "We should proceed with caution." President Ellen Ross disagreed. "The Council has offered us the stars, Frank. We'd be fools to reject such generosity." And so the deal was made. Council representatives established an embassy in New Geneva. Human scientists eagerly worked alongside alien counterparts. Council ships became a common sight in Earth orbit. On the Moon, Dr. Olivia Wright led the team working on the technology exchange program. Brilliant and observant, she noticed things others missed. "These schematics don't match the technology they've given us," she told her assistant one night in her lab at Lunar Base Alpha. She pointed to a display showing the designs for a new power system. "It's like they're leaving out key components, deliberately holding back." Meanwhile, humans shared everything about their own technology. The Council representatives seemed particularly interested in Earth's military capabilities. "Your weapons are quite primitive," remarked Zex Terra during a tour of Earth's defense headquarters. "But we find your approach creative." 3 months after first contact, Council engineers helped establish human outposts beyond Mars. Small colonies took root on Europa and Titan. Humanity was spreading through the solar system faster than anyone had dreamed possible. Admiral Carter used this expansion to secretly strengthen Earth's defenses. While officially retired, he worked with loyal officers to prepare for the worst. They called it contingency planning. Others might have called it treason. Dr. Wright found more discrepancies in the shared technology. She began keeping 2 sets of research notes, one official, one hidden. 6 months into the new alliance, Admiral Carter received an encrypted message from an old friend who now worked as a translator for the Council embassy. It contained a partial translation of communications between Council ships. Human assessment complete. Military capability. Minimal threat. Technological advancement. Concerning but manageable. Recommendation. Containment protocol standard. That same night, High Counselor Zex Terra met with the other Council representatives in their orbital station. The chamber was sealed and swept for listening devices. "The humans suspect nothing," said Zex Terra. "They are like all the others, eager for advancement, blind to cost." A reptilian council member hissed softly. "They develop technology too quickly." The danger assessment. "Unchanged," replied Zex Terra. "If left unchecked, humans will reach Class 4 status within 50 years. The protocol is clear." "Then we proceed as planned," said another member, its voice like grinding stones. "The Council has never failed." As they spoke, Dr. Wright discovered something in an ancient human text that mentioned artifacts found in Antarctica decades ago. Something that predated human civilization. Something that had been kept secret even from most of Earth's own people. And Admiral Carter began implementing the first stage of Protocol Omega. 6 months after first contact, the mood began to change. Council ships no longer kept a respectful distance. They performed what they called training exercises near Earth's space stations and orbital platforms. Their weapons were always active. Lieutenant Paul Martins noticed it first. As communications officer aboard the UES Guardian, he monitored all transmissions between Council vessels. Most were encrypted, but Paul had always had a gift for patterns. "Sir, I think I've broken part of their code," he told his captain. "They keep mentioning containment protocols and asset security when referring to Earth." The captain forwarded Paul's findings to Admiral Carter, who was now operating from a hidden base in the asteroid belt. 3 days later, everything changed. High Counselor Zex Terra requested an emergency session with the United Earth government. President Ross expected to discuss expanded technology sharing. Instead, the Council's true face was revealed. "Humanity has reached a decision point," Zex Terra announced to the shocked human leaders. "The Council has evaluated your species and found you potentially disruptive to galactic stability." The alien's voice remained pleasant, but the words were cold. "Throughout our history, the Council has encountered species like yours. Aggressive, innovative, unwilling to accept proper guidance. Such species inevitably bring war and chaos to the galaxy." President Ross stood up. "What exactly are you saying, Counselor?" "I am explaining your options," replied Zex Terra. "The Council offers you controlled development. Your technology will be limited, your expansion restricted. In return, you will survive." "And if we refuse these generous terms?" asked the President. Zex Terra's large eyes blinked slowly. "Then the Council will do what it has done 3 times before. Your cities will burn. Your colonies will be erased. Your species will become a historical footnote." As the Council leader spoke, massive warships emerged from jump points near Mars, Luna, and Earth itself. The invasion had begun before the ultimatum was even delivered. On Mars Colony, Governor Samuel Green tried to negotiate with the Council forces. He walked out under a white flag to meet the alien commander. The meeting was broadcast globally. The Council commander listened politely to the governor's appeal for peace, then publicly executed him as a demonstration. "The Council has spoken," the alien announced to the cameras. "Resistance is pointless." Earth's military responded immediately. Ships that had been hiding in the shadow of Jupiter rushed to defend the homeworld. Ground-based laser arrays targeted Council vessels. The first shots of the war were fired. In his hidden command center, Admiral Carter activated Protocol Omega. "Send the signal to all Omega cells," he ordered, "and get me a secure line to Dr. Wright on Europa." Lieutenant Martinez, now assigned to Admiral Carter's staff, worked frantically to maintain communications as Council jamming technology began to block Earth's networks. "Sir, I have Dr. Wright," he called. The Admiral's screen showed Olivia Wright in her lab beneath Europa's icy surface. Behind her, dozens of scientists worked on equipment unlike anything the Council had shared. "They've moved faster than we expected," said Admiral Carter. "We need more time," replied Dr. Wright. "Project Prometheus isn't ready." "How much of it works?" "The defensive systems are operational. The offensive capabilities are untested." The Admiral nodded grimly. "Deploy what you have. We'll buy you time for the rest." As they spoke, Council ships began methodical bombardment of Earth's major cities. Paris disappeared in a flash of light. Then Beijing. Then New York. On the Council command ship, Zex Terra received reports of human resistance. "They fight well for primitives," noted a Council military advisor. "All species fight when cornered," said Zex Terra. "It changes nothing. Their defeat is certain." At that moment, deep beneath Europa's ice, Dr. Wright activated the first phase of Project Prometheus. All across the solar system, devices that had been hidden for decades began to power up. In the Antarctic, something ancient stirred. The Council was about to learn they had miscalculated badly. Earth's military fought bravely, but they were outmatched. Council ships moved with impossible speed. Their weapons cut through human shields like they weren't even there. Their own defenses shrugged off Earth's most powerful missiles. Admiral Carter watched from his command center as one by one, Earth's defense platforms went dark. His face remained calm, but inside he felt rage and grief. "Sir, we've lost contact with the Atlantic Fleet," reported Lieutenant Martinez. "Pacific Fleet reports heavy damage. They're requesting permission to retreat." "Tell them to hold position as long as possible," ordered Carter. "Every minute we keep the Council focused on our conventional forces gives Dr. Wright more time." On the Moon, Council troops landed in overwhelming numbers. Luna Base fell within hours. Mars held out longer, its underground cities proving difficult to capture. But everyone knew it was only a matter of time. Meanwhile, in the asteroid belt, a different kind of resistance was forming. Captain Lisa Johnson had been in charge of a mining operation when the invasion began. Now she commanded a fleet of mining ships, hastily converted for combat. "We can't match their firepower," Lisa told her crew, a mix of miners and military personnel who had escaped the initial attacks. "But we know these rocks better than they ever will." Her ships used the asteroids for cover, emerging to strike at Council supply vessels before disappearing again into the field's chaotic patterns. The Council commanders found these attacks infuriating. They sent increasingly large forces to hunt down the human guerrillas, which was exactly what Lisa wanted. "Every ship they send after us is one less attacking Earth," she told her pilots. Beneath Europa's ice, Dr. Wright worked frantically. Project Prometheus had been humanity's most closely guarded secret for decades. Even most of Earth's leaders didn't know it existed. "Power output at 70% and rising," called one of her assistants. "The translation matrix is online," reported another. Olivia studied the ancient symbols scrolling across her screen. They had found the technology buried deep in Antarctica 50 years ago. Not human technology. Something much older. Something that predated even the Council. "The Council ships are moving toward Europa," warned her security chief. "They must suspect something." "They suspect, but they don't know," replied Olivia. "Not yet." She pressed her hand to a panel that glowed with soft blue light. Initiating Phase 1. On Earth, cities burned. Survivors fled to the countryside or into underground shelters. Council troops began landing, expecting to find a broken, cowering population ready to surrender. Instead, they found resistance at every turn. Ordinary people fought with whatever weapons they could find. Military units that had gone into hiding emerged to strike at landing zones. The Council had expected submission. They found defiance. High Counselor Zex Terret addressed the Council fleet from the safety of the command ship. "The human resistance is stronger than anticipated, but the outcome remains certain. Our victory is merely delayed, not threatened." The Counselor recorded a message to be broadcast across human communication channels. "People of Earth, your military is defeated. Your space forces are scattered. Continued resistance will only bring more suffering. Surrender now, and the Council will show mercy." The message played on repeat across what remained of Earth's networks. Minutes after the broadcast, Admiral Carter's face appeared on the same channels. "This is Admiral Frank Carter of Earth Defense Force. We will never surrender to those who come as friends only to reveal themselves as conquerors. Help is coming. Hold on." The Council commanders laughed at this. What help could possibly come? Their sensors showed no large human fleet hiding anywhere in the solar system. The few remaining human military assets were being systematically destroyed. Then alarms sounded throughout the Council fleet. Something was happening on Titan, Saturn's largest moon. Energy readings unlike anything in Council records. A signature they couldn't identify. Admiral Carter had vanished after the fall of Earth's orbital defenses. The Council had assumed he died in the battle. They were wrong. He had retreated to a secret base on Titan, and now he was about to return. Council forces began their occupation of Earth and Mars. They expected broken spirits and easy control. Instead, they found humans who refused to accept defeat. Soldiers became resistance fighters. Civilians created hidden networks to share information and supplies. Every occupied city became a battlefield of shadows and whispers. On Europa, Dr. Wright knew they had run out of time. Council ships were closing in, their sensors sweeping the icy moon for any sign of human activity. "They'll be here within hours," warned her security team. Olivia looked at the device before her. It was the heart of Project Prometheus. Technology not of human origin, but left behind by those who came before. The precursors. "We can't wait any longer," she decided. "Activate the first phase." Her team entered the final commands. Deep beneath the ice, ancient machinery hummed to life. Energy readings spiked across the solar system as similar devices activated on Earth, Mars, and hidden outposts on other moons. The Council ships detected the energy surge immediately. Their sensors could not identify the technology, but the power levels alarmed them. "What is this?" demanded High Counselor Zexterra, studying the readings. "Humans don't have this level of technological development." One of the older council members moved forward, eyes wide with recognition. "This energy signature, it can't be." "Explain," ordered Zexterra. "This is precursor technology. Technology that predates even the council. But it was all destroyed or secured ages ago." "Apparently not all of it," replied Zexterra. "How did humans acquire this?" The answer came in the form of attack. From Titan, ships unlike any the Council had seen before appeared. Their hulls shimmered with blue-green light. They moved too fast for Council targeting systems to lock on. Admiral Carter stood on the bridge of the lead vessel, the UES Defiance. It had been built in secret, incorporating the precursor technology found beneath Antarctica decades ago. "All ships engage as planned," he ordered. "Remember, their shields cannot stop our phase weapons." The new human ships fired. Beams of energy that seemed to flicker in and out of reality struck the Council vessels. They passed through shields as if they weren't there, cutting into alien hulls. For the first time since the invasion began, Council ships were destroyed in significant numbers. Across the solar system, the tide began to turn. Captain Lisa Johnson's asteroid belt guerrillas received new weapons based on the same technology. Suddenly, her mining ships became deadly hunters. On Earth and Mars, resistance fighters found caches of advanced weapons, hidden years ago for this moment. Council ground forces faced weapons that could penetrate their armor with ease. On the Council command ship, panic spread. "This is impossible," insisted one of the military commanders. Human technology was assessed. "They had nothing like this." "They hid it from us," replied Zexterra. "But how? Our scans should have detected it." Lieutenant Martinez, working in Admiral Carter's command center, monitored Council communications. "Sir, they're confused and starting to argue among themselves. Some want to retreat, others want to bring in their elite extermination fleet." "Good," replied Carter. "Confusion slows decision-making." "Dr. Wright, what's your status?" On his screen, Olivia appeared, looking tired but determined. "Phase 1 is complete. The defensive network is operational. Phase 2 will take more time." "What exactly is Phase 2? asked Carter. Olivia smiled. "The precursors left us more than weapons, Admiral. They left us their history. We've learned that humans share genetic markers with them. That's why their technology responds to us when it won't respond to Council species." "You mean?" "Yes," she confirmed. "The precursors were our ancestors, or at least related to us. And they left us more than technology. They left us a legacy that the Council has feared for thousands of years." As they spoke, Council reinforcements began arriving through jump points near Jupiter. Among them was a massive ship that dwarfed even the largest Council vessels seen so far. "The War Director has arrived," announced a Council communication intercepted by Martinez. "Victory will now be assured." The humans were about to face the full might of the Council's extermination fleet. The War Director's ship emerged from the jump point like a metal monster. It stretched nearly 10 miles long, bristling with weapons designed to end civilizations. Behind it came hundreds of smaller vessels, each one more powerful than anything humans had faced so far. "I am War Director of Rulkoth," announced a harsh voice over all communication channels. "Your resistance ends now." High Counselor Zex Terra was relieved of command, a punishment for underestimating the humans. In the council hierarchy, bringing in a war director was an admission of serious miscalculation. Admiral Carter watched the new fleet with grim determination. "How many ships can we field?" he asked. 23 vessels with full Prometheus integration," replied Lieutenant Martinez. "Another 42 with partial capabilities." "Not enough," muttered Carter. "Not nearly enough." The new human ships fought well. Their phase weapons still penetrated council shields, but the war director's vessels were faster, more maneuverable, with hulls designed to absorb tremendous damage. For every council ship destroyed, a human ship was lost. On Mars, the council tightened its control. The red planet became a fortress from which more troops and equipment poured toward Earth. The human colonies there were forced into labor camps, building more weapons for their conquerors. Captain Lisa Johnson's guerrilla fleet in the asteroid belt continued to strike and fade, but with each engagement, they lost ships they couldn't replace. "We need more time," Dr. Wright told Admiral Carter during their secure communications. "The second phase of Project Prometheus is more complex than we anticipated." "We're running out of options," replied Carter. "The war director is systematically destroying our advantages." On Earth, the situation grew desperate. The Council began targeting civilian populations, destroying entire regions to break human resolve. Millions died. Millions more fled underground. In Admiral Carter's command center, a plan began to form. A desperate plan with little chance of success, but perhaps their only hope. "We need the location of the Council homeworlds," Carter told his officers. "If we can strike at them directly, they might pull back enough forces to give us breathing room." "How do we get that information?" asked Martinez. "It's not like they'll tell us." "We take it," replied Carter. "Their command ships contain navigational data for the entire Council territory. We capture one. We get what we need." The mission was suicide, but volunteers stepped forward immediately. Admiral Carter insisted on leading the strike team himself, despite objections from his staff. "If anyone should take this risk, it's me," he said simply. As they prepared, Dr. Wright made a breakthrough on Europa. She had been studying the precursor technology day and night, trying to understand why it responded differently to humans than to council species. "It's our brains," she told her team excitedly. "The neural patterns. Human thoughts activate the technology in ways the council species can't match." She demonstrated by placing her hand on a control panel. It glowed bright blue. When one of her assistants tried, the glow was dimmer. When they tested tissue samples from captured council soldiers, there was no response at all. "The precursors designed their technology to be used by beings with neural patterns like ours," explained Olivia. "That's why the council couldn't use it, even when they found pieces of it." This discovery led to the second phase of Project Prometheus. Neural-linked combat systems. Human pilots could now connect their minds directly to their ships, becoming one with the precursor technology. The first test flights showed incredible results. Human reflexes, amplified by the neural link, made the ships virtually untouchable. But there were too few of the new systems, and not enough time to build more before Admiral Carter's strike mission. As the Admiral prepared to depart, tensions within the Council began to rise. Two species, the Aurelians and the Vox, questioned the war director's brutal tactics. "This goes beyond containment," argued the Aurelian representative. "We risk becoming what we claim to prevent, destroyers of civilizations." The war director dismissed these concerns. "Weakness cost us the initial victory. I will not repeat Zex Terra's mistakes." The stage was set for Admiral Carter's desperate gamble, and for humanity's true secret to be fully revealed. Admiral Carter's strike team moved silently through space in 5 small ships. They had stripped away weapons to make room for more stealth technology. Their target, the Council command vessel orbiting Mars, "Approaching final position," reported the pilot of Carter's ship. "Council patrols will pass in 30 seconds. All ships maintain radio silence," ordered Carter. "Remember the plan. Get in, secure the data, get out." The team had trained for weeks, but everyone knew their chances were slim. The command vessel held over 5,000 Council troops. At the exact moment the patrol passed, the human ships fired their engines briefly, then drifted toward their target. To Council sensors, they would appear as nothing more than space debris. Meanwhile, on Europa, Dr. Wright prepared to reveal the full nature of humanity's secret. She gathered her top scientists in the main chamber where the heart of the precursor technology hummed with energy. "For 50 years, we've been studying the artifacts found in Antarctica," she told them. "We thought they were left by visitors to Earth. We were wrong." She displayed genetic analysis on the main screen. The precursors didn't visit Earth. They came from Earth. Or rather, they and humans share a common ancestor. Gasps filled the room as the implications became clear. "That's why their technology responds to our neural patterns," continued Olivia. "We are their descendants, or at least related to them, and they left their legacy for us to find when we were ready." In the asteroid belt, Captain Lisa Johnson received a coded transmission from Europa. New instructions for her guerrilla fleet, along with specifications for modifying their ships with neural interface technology. "Can we really install these with what we have?" asked her chief engineer. "We have to," replied Lisa. "According to this, it's our only chance." Her fleet began converting their vessels immediately, miners and engineers working side by side to implement the new technology. Back at Mars, Admiral Carter's team had reached the Council command vessel undetected. Using cutting tools designed to work with precursor technology, they created an entry point through the ship's hull. "We're in," whispered Carter to his team. "Move fast, stay quiet." They navigated through service tunnels, avoiding Council patrols. Their objective was the central data core, 20 levels down. On Earth, resistance fighters received word of the mission. To create a distraction, they launched coordinated attacks on Council bases worldwide. The sudden uprising caught the occupiers by surprise. Council communications filled with reports of human assaults. In orbit above Mars, War Director Vrul Koth received these reports with fury. "How dare they continue to resist?" he raged. "Increase planetary bombardment. Target population centers." "Sir," interrupted an aide, "the Aurelian and Vox commanders are refusing to target civilians." The War Director's eyes narrowed. "Then they are traitors to the Council. Remove them from command." This order spread quickly through the Council fleet. Many officers were disturbed by the escalation. The Aurelian and Vox ships began to pull back, refusing to fire on Earth's cities. Captain Johnson intercepted these communications. "The Council is fracturing," she told her crew. "Now's our chance to push." Her ships, newly equipped with basic neural interfaces, engaged Council vessels near Jupiter. The results were stunning. Human pilots, minds linked to their ships, moved with impossible speed and precision. Council weapons couldn't track them. On the Council command ship, Admiral Carter's team reached the data core. They planted devices designed by Dr. Wright's team to extract the navigational data. As the download began, alarms sounded. "We've been detected," warned Lieutenant Martinez, who had insisted on joining the mission. Council troops converged on their position. Carter's team took defensive positions, determined to hold until the download completed. "How much longer?" Carter asked, firing his weapon at approaching Council soldiers. 30 seconds, replied the tech specialist. As they fought, Carter knew that across the solar system, the second phase of Project Prometheus was being activated. Whatever happened to him and his team, humanity now had a fighting chance. "Download complete," called the specialist. "Fall back to extraction point," ordered Carter. But as his team began to retreat, a massive explosion rocked the ship. Smoke filled the corridors of the Council command ship. Admiral Carter picked himself up from the floor, ears ringing from the explosion. "Sound off," he called to his team. 4 voices responded. 1 didn't. Carter saw Lieutenant Martinez trapped under fallen debris, not moving. "Get the data to the ship," Carter ordered his team. "I'll get Martinez." "Sir, there's no time," protested one of his soldiers. "We don't leave our people behind," replied Carter firmly. "Go. That's an order." As his team retreated with the precious navigational data, Carter worked to free Martinez. The lieutenant was alive, but badly injured. "Leave me, sir," Martinez whispered. "Complete the mission." "The mission is to get everyone home," said Carter, lifting the younger man onto his shoulders. "And that includes you." Council troops were closing in from both directions. Carter found a maintenance shaft and climbed with Martinez on his back. They emerged 2 levels up, closer to their extraction point. Throughout the solar system, humanity launched a coordinated counteroffensive. Dr. Wright activated the full neural link system, connecting pilots to their ships more completely than ever before. "All Prometheus vessels, engage," she ordered. On Earth, resistance fighters emerged from hiding, using precursor-based weapons to drive back Council forces. Cities that had been under alien control for months suddenly found themselves liberated as the occupiers fell back in disarray. Captain Lisa Johnson's fleet struck the main Council supply lines between Mars and Earth. With their enhanced neural interfaces, her pilots outmaneuvered everything the Council sent against them. "They can't track us," she told her crew excitedly. "Their computers can't predict what our minds will do next." The Council's unified front completely collapsed. The Aurelians and Vox openly turned against the War Director, providing intelligence to human forces about Council weak points. "We joined the Council for Peace," explained an Aurelian commander in a transmission to human leaders. "What the War Director does dishonors our principles." On Mars, human prisoners seized the moment. They overwhelmed their guards and captured key facilities. The red planet that had been a Council stronghold became a battleground once more. Admiral Carter fought his way back to the extraction point with Martinez. Their ship was waiting, under heavy fire from Council troops. "Go," yelled Carter as he pushed Martinez through the airlock. He turned to hold off their pursuers, firing steadily. A blast caught him in the shoulder, spinning him around. Another soldier pulled him aboard as the ship's doors closed. They launched immediately, racing away from the command vessel. "Did the others make it?" Carter asked, pressing a hand to his wound. "Yes, sir. All ships away with minimal casualties. And we got the data." On Europa, Dr. Wright completed the final component of Project Prometheus, a system-wide defensive grid powered by the Moon's subsurface ocean. As it activated, blue-green energy patterns spread across the solar system, connecting all the precursor technology in a unified network. War Director Vrul Koth watched in mounting fury as his certain victory crumbled. Reports flooded in of human advances, Council ships destroyed or captured, ground forces in retreat. "This cannot be happening," he raged. "No primitive species defeats the Council." "The humans are not primitive," replied his science advisor nervously. "The precursor technology they've activated exceeds our most advanced systems." The War Director made a final, desperate decision. "Prepare the Nova weapon," he ordered. "Target Earth's sun." His officers exchanged alarmed looks. The Nova weapon was forbidden by Council law, designed to trigger a stellar explosion that would destroy an entire solar system. "But, sir, our own forces would be destroyed as well," protested his second-in-command. "If we cannot have this system, neither will the humans," replied Vrolkov. "The Council will rebuild. These humans and their precursor toys will be erased from history." As the terrible weapon moved into position near Mercury, Admiral Carter's team delivered the navigational data to Dr. Wright. "We have the coordinates of every Council homeworld," she told him. "But that won't matter if we can't stop that Nova weapon." Time was running out for Earth and all humanity. The Nova weapon glowed with deadly energy as it moved toward Earth's sun. Shaped like a massive spear, it was the most destructive device ever created by the Council. Once activated, it would trigger a chain reaction in the Sun, causing it to explode and destroy everything in the solar system. Admiral Carter, despite his injuries, insisted on leading the mission to stop it. "Sir, you should rest," urged the doctor, treating his wounds. "If that weapon activates, none of us will need rest ever again," replied Carter grimly. "How many ships can we gather?" 17 with full neural link capability, reported his officer. "Plus Captain Johnson's fleet is en route from the asteroid belt." "It will have to be enough," said Carter, rising from the medical bed. Dr. Wright contacted him as he prepared to leave. "Admiral, there's something you need to know about Project Prometheus." "I'm listening." "It's not just a weapon system," explained Olivia. "The precursors designed it as a communication network. Once fully activated, it can connect to other precursor installations throughout the galaxy." "What other installations?" "That's just it. We don't know exactly. But the data suggests they're everywhere, dormant, waiting for the right signal." On the War Director's ship, chaos reigned. Half the Council fleet had turned against Vrulkoth, horrified by his decision to use the forbidden weapon. The Aurelian and Vox ships directly engaged vessels loyal to the War Director, trying to prevent the Nova weapons activation. "This is madness," declared the Aurelian commander. "You will destroy us all." "Better destruction than defeat," replied Vrulkoth. "The Council has never failed, and it never will." Admiral Carter led his small fleet toward Mercury, where the Nova weapon continued its final preparations. Its defenses were formidable, and Council ships loyal to the War Director formed a protective ring around it. "All ships, engage neural links to maximum," ordered Carter. "Focus fire on the weapon's energy core." Human vessels, their pilots merged with precursor technology, moved like living things through space. They darted between enemy ships, absorbing hits that would have destroyed them before, returning fire with deadly accuracy. But it wasn't enough. The Nova weapon's shields held, and its countdown continued. In 10 minutes, it would fire and end all life in the solar system. Dr. Wright watched the battle from Europa, fingers flying across control panels. "It's time," she whispered, and activated the full Prometheus grid. Across the solar system, the blue-green energy patterns intensified. On Earth, on Mars, on every moon and asteroid where precursor technology had been hidden, power surged to unprecedented levels. In space, Admiral Carter felt something change. The neural link to his ship deepened, expanded. Suddenly, he could sense every Prometheus vessel, every pilot. They became a single consciousness, unified by the ancient technology. And beyond that, he felt something more, echoes from distant stars, other precursor installations awakening after millennia of dormancy. "All ships," he commanded, his voice strangely amplified. "Attack pattern Omega." The human fleet moved as one organism, perfectly coordinated. They smashed through the Council defenses and converged on the Nova weapon. At that moment, Captain Johnson arrived with reinforcements, including Aurelian and Vox ships. They joined the assault immediately. "Energy pulse ready," reported Carter's weapons officer. "Fire." A beam of pure white energy lanced from the combined human fleet, striking the Nova weapon's core. Its shields failed instantly, and the weapon itself began to break apart. War Director Vrulkoth watched in disbelief as his ultimate weapon disintegrated. "Impossible," he whispered. In the aftermath, with the immediate threat eliminated, the Council's remaining loyal forces surrendered. The War Director was taken into custody by his own officers. 1 month later, a new galactic alliance formed. Human representatives met with delegates from all Council species, including those who had fought against them, and those who had helped them. "We could have destroyed your homeworlds," Admiral Carter told them, displaying the navigational data his team had captured. "Instead, we offer partnership." Dr. Wright explained the precursor legacy to the assembled aliens. "They didn't leave us weapons to conquer. They left us tools to connect. The technology responds to neural patterns that value both innovation and peace. It was a test, she concluded. One the Council failed, but one we can all pass together. High Counselor Zex Terra, now a prisoner awaiting justice, watched the proceedings on a monitor in his cell. We were so certain of victory, he murmured to himself, so certain of our superiority. That certainty was our downfall. As Earth began to rebuild, humanity looked to the stars not as conquerors or victims, but as inheritors of an ancient legacy and architects of a new galactic future.